Are you ready for a good chat? Go on and tune in to the Go On Men podcast. It's your place to go with your host, David GSA Wrestling, and co-host, Ryan Iconic Shadows.
And we're back with the Go On Men podcast, episode 37. I am your host, David GSA Wrestling, and I am the only person here today. We are talking about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court case. We are also talking about Ember Moon and AEW. So let's crack on to it. So if you don't know, Johnny Depp's sister was the first person up on trial. She talks about Johnny Depp. I'm guessing everybody's watched it, but this is just a quick recap. That how he was brought up, and that Amber Heard would stretch the truth and lie. The second witness was Johnny Depp's friend, who lived in the same house as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He'd also knew Johnny Depp for like 30 years. Johnny Depp was supporting with his dream of being an artist. He'd moved in with him and give him money to paint. He'd also Amber Heard a couple of days ago after the assault. There was no bruising on her body, on her head and body. Also saw her with Elon Musk. The third one was the hotel manager, where he showed some videos of like where he was living, and camera footage of Johnny Depp with again the police and stuff like that. The fourth witness was the head assistant of Amber Heard. She just basically said that the aggressive person in that relationship was Amber Heard, that she spat in her face and spoke to her like she was a piece of shit. She also said Johnny Depp went out of his way to teach her son how to play guitar, and also took Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp took him on holiday. Amber Heard also would go after her with no warning after Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got married. Got rid of her, sorry, after they got married. Witness was Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's marriage counsellor. But as it was stricken from the record, we're not going to talk about it. Then there was Johnny Depp's rehab, Dr. David Kep, who had basically helped him with his addiction with drugs. He said that Amber Heard had never said Johnny was assaulting her, and also no reports of assault from the nursing who was taking care of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He also said Johnny Depp's fingers got chopped off, and that Johnny said he'd done it, but later on it was found out that they tried to keep it hush. Nurse read through her report was that one. The head of security, who'd been doing it for 20 years, was next up. He also said he never witnessed any abuse from either of them. Johnny Depp's song and personal friend, he said Amber Heard shouted in his face and was very aggressive, and Johnny Depp had to step in for his friend. And Johnny Depp was next up, saying that Amber Heard had hit him, also threatened him. She'd also made some videos and took a lot of videos and pictures. There has been more of this case that I've wrote down, but to be honest, I've stopped following it after Johnny Depp because I feel like at this point I know who did it, and I don't really need to listen to Amber Heard's story because everything's feeding back that Johnny Depp is the nice person that we all know he is. Amber Heard looks like the evil bitch that we all know she is, and we also know that the position up for Johnny Depp to Amber Heard to be kicked out of Aquaman 2. The rumours is it went up from being like just under 2 million to nearly 4 to 5 million in the space of 2 days after this court case. From what I've seen, it's been a lot of memes about Amber Heard saying she was stood on her dog stood on a pee in the pee, and if you've seen the face, that's a meme in its own right. My feelings behind it is Amber Heard needs to realise that she made a mistake. She shouldn't have gone after someone on a personal level, even though because the thing is, assault and abuse and all that shit. Oh, shit, I've dropped the phone. Sorry about that. Assault and everything like that is good in some aspect, but bad in some aspects. So for her to come out, there is people who get abused by in couples and stuff like that. Her coming out and making a false accusation sets women back, and guys who come forward and deal with assault, abuse, and everything else in a relationship knocks them back, and personally makes them so that they don't want to come forward or don't want to approach it because this is the shit they have to deal with. she's basically made stuff up that she didn't need to make up. We all know Johnny Depp's in the right. Amber Heard should get sacked from all movies that she did. Johnny Depp should get a contract or something regarding it. Um, and yeah, I feel like Johnny Depp, in his own right, should just tell her to piss off. But the thing is, there was a point where I'm not seeing much of the trial after Johnny Depp's. I think it was the first day or second day. It was the Amber Heard stuff where she's pretending she's scared and that fucking you can't come near me, you'll assault me. Is in a courtroom. What that was the stupidest thing ever too. You're acting like you're scared when like you've been smiling and putting on a fucking smiling and taking the piss every 2 minutes. Yeah, I feel like Johnny Depp's won whichever way it swings because in the people's eyes, it does his fans know better, and if movie executives don't want to put him in his movie, that's fine. But um, you know that like the movies he's not been in, so he was meant to be in Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts 3. He decided not to take up the role or got sacked from the role, and it's flopped. The likelihood of Pirates of the Caribbean 6 will flop because there's no Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp makes them movies. Amber Heard, realistically, isn't that big. Yeah, she's done a couple of movies, and yeah, she's been in a couple of things. She wasn't really that popular in Aquaman, the first one. She's fucking nobody wants her in the second one. I feel like she knows she's a flop, and she clinged on to Johnny Depp to get the money that she needed and get the success she needed from him opening that fucking. Because like there was a statement she made where he's a fat old man, and considering you was in love with him and that you wanted to marry him and all this shit, but calling him a fat old man contradicts anything that you apparently loved about him, and yeah, I feel like she was after the money. They also made a statement, and I don't think I wrote this down. I think it's after the Johnny Depp bit. I have seen this bit. She said she gave £7 million to charity, but 3.5 million to Children's Hospital, I want to say, and then 3.5 to uh, some other fucking organisation. It came out that she donated less than 1 million. The charity stand had that much off her, and considering she said she didn't need the money, it's funny how it works out that the money that she's apparently put to charity hasn't. Most of it's been from Johnny Depp or Elon Musk in her name, not that she'd give it away from this £7 million divorce settlement she got. So yeah, she's just coming out that she's a liar and a compulsive liar at that. Um, there was meant to be more people on this podcast to talk about this. This is why, like, I feel like we need both to debate this. Sham was going to be doing it, but she's busy. Ryan's not been feeling well. Ryan will be back Sunday, so we will be recording a couple of more episodes of the podcasting. And I think we'll probably do 4, bang out 4. So we'll be done until probably beginning of June, end of June. Uh, I don't know what to say about the case. The case has been a weird one. It reminds me of me giving evidence, and like I know how unnerving it is to give evidence in a court of law. I could sort of go into it, but I can't. Basically, someone assaulted me. They then tried to use my past, being that basically my dad passed away when I was really, really young, so they tried to swing that on me. It didn't work. It worked in my favour, not theirs. I think they wanted me to get angry and aggressive and show off that I'm an angry and aggressive person. I didn't. I got upset that they didn't plan for. Uh, Basically made it him and his lawyer look like an asshole. So but you just gotta be careful what people say and what people do around you, because you never know who you're going to swing to. And try and belittle you basically to some extent, or use your past as ammunition towards making you get aggressive or angry or uh, passive aggressive. Let's talk about the Ember Moon situation. So Ember Moon has left WWE. I also watched there was a video that she did like a podcast like one of us where she was talking about like leaving WWE and what it was like situated to leave WWE. Uh, so yeah, we got Ember Moon left because of WWE making her wanting to be a coach and offered her. Well, they offered her to be a coach because they took her off TV and said she'd never work in WWE on TV again. Considering how old Ember Moon is, that Ember Moon's only 33, and she's probably younger than Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Say her career's over and say that she should just retire and basically become like a help the younger people generation is bullshit. Ember Moon never got the push she deserved. Um, they basically used her in splits and splats, and it doesn't work when someone that unconsidered. Uh, so yeah, it didn't go well for Ember Moon on the main roster. They went back down to NXT. They put her with a tag team. Then Shotzi got pulled up with Tegan Knox. Now that Tegan Knox has been fired, it looks like they brought Tegan and Shotzi up to fucking the main roster, and within a couple of months they got rid of Tegan. WWE doesn't seem to, considering they've got three brands. Well, what they say is they've got three brands. We all know that the main brand is Raw and SmackDown. Um, Considering they've got that contradiction on, oh well, we've got three brands. NXT is as big as Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Why is there call-ups? Why is there call-ups? If there's call-ups, that means that they don't class them as a proper brand. And half the time when people do get called up, the names get changed or the gimmicks get changed. Same stuff for Killian Cross. Killian Cross got changed. I could keep going on. There's been a lot of people who have been basically used as fodder for when they've been moved up to the main roster. Ember Moon being a good example of that. The fucking the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders, fucking they've been used and abused. AOP, the Ascension, the Ascension got a bit of a push, but then got dragged down to fuck all. Um, talk about untalented that has been used and abused. Um, oh fucking hell. Oh, she got fired. Who was it? I can't think. Um, Someone who got fired basically. Um, Brain's not working. I should really write this shit down because my brain is. Uh, Tony Storm. I couldn't think of a name. Tony Storm. Tony Storm was used and abused. Walter changed his name to Gunther, made no fucking sense. And now they've changed his teammate's name on the main roster. Fucking sanity. You talk about sanity. You can talk about EC3. You can talk about Bobby Roode. What they did with Bobby Roode was horrendous, considering he was such a babyface. Um, I can't think of there's so many names. Joe being an example. I know Joe got injured, but Joe. Uh, I just feel like even when they get like, what's the point of NXT being like the brand that they need to work on and like working WWE, and then as soon as you get moved to main roster, it's like, oh, your name's been changed. Start back at the beginning. Get in there, kid. Um, yeah, I feel like it's a cop out in some aspect. Anyway, so we started. So Ember, let's carry on with the Ember Moon. They offered her a 5 times pay increase to stay with WWE because so and basically they didn't want to go into AEW. That I hope AEW snatches her. But from what I've seen, no, she's on the independents again. Uh, yeah, I feel like we'll talk about AEW in a minute. I feel like that she did the right thing because they was just wasn't using her, and they probably would have made her still a coach. I probably wouldn't have given it any pushes and probably would have just left it because he brought him down to NXT to work on a gimmick apparently, and then they let it go. So yeah, um, they've also pulled it in a meeting where they was like, oh, they want it all dressed in skimpy outfits, and that's just Vince being Vince. Like, doesn't see women as wrestlers, sees them as objects, and basically uses their body as sex symbols to sell the product, or basically makes you. Don't get me wrong, there is women that are like Nia Jax wasn't really specifically because of her body, and to be honest, she injured that many people. Tamina being another one, but like Mandy Rose, like a lot of the NXT women don't really lower that much, and apparently that's because Vince was like, "Oh, you need to get sexier like Mandy does," and he wants to not be like man, tits and ass basically. Talking about Mandy can wrestle, but like just wants her specifically to be more sexualized. So let's talk about AEW. I was looking at AEW's roster the other day. I don't really watch AEW, but I still like on occasion look at the roster to see if they added obviously with WWE. Obviously, Cody came back from AEW to WWE, but like he said, it was just the timing, and like, he still thinks AEW is amazing. He just wanted to do something for himself, and with AEW, he didn't feel like he could push himself, and basically was letting younger people get wins over him, so that like it would push the brand rather than push himself. Because he didn't want to be one of these bosses that puts himself at title picture every week, and didn't want to be classed as using his power of authority to basically fucking take over the company and all that stuff. He basically left to do his own stuff. That's all right in its own right. So when he explained it more, it was more understandable. So AEW, when I was looking at the roster, the male roster looks packed. It looks amazing. The female looks lackluster. So they've only really got Ruby Riott, Brett Baker, and Tony Storm. They're like the three big names they've got. But they've not got like the WWE branding, as in like Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, like big names. And I feel like WWE has let a lot of big names go that were future stars. And I feel like if AEW jumps on that, they could potentially get away with some potential good ones. So I'm thinking because I Ember Moon that I've just said. Dakota Kai was a shot that they let her go. I feel like AEW would be stupid not to jump on that. Lana being another would be with Rusev being there would be a good sign. Her husband, Mai Ying, would be a real good signing from Scarlett, and obviously sign her husband at the same time, or Killian Cross. And Tegan Knox. I feel like Tegan Knox could do some big things in in AEW. I think Dakota Kai will get signed. I'm very surprised if she doesn't get signed. But yeah, AEW is the little brand that can really start pushing off more and more because WWE is really dropping the ball. I watched the pay-per-view Backlash. I didn't think it was much cop. I've watched most of the WWE pay-per-views recently. Not thought they'd been much cop. I really hated. I thought WrestleMania was alright. I feel like Royal Rumble was shit. I feel like Elimination Chamber was alright ish. But it wasn't like, oh my god, fucking groundbreaking. I feel like WWE sort of fell off. AEW really needs to start like pushing the nail into the coffin for WWE and basically take over the priority. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could talk about. I could delve into Moon Knight, but I'm not going to because I know next week we've got that coming. Uh, and we've got Uncharted. I've still got to watch the Batman movie, so there's quite a bit I need to watch this week before Friday. We can't talk about that. I'm trying to think of stuff I could talk about. I don't think I've got much. Oh, but I could talk a bit about. I've been playing. Well, I've been watching a series called. Oh, what the fuck's it called now? Do you know what? If I could put. Do you know what? Give me a minute. Can I do that? No, I can't. Scorpion. It's called Scorpion. I've been watching a series called Scorpion. It's been a couple of years ago. Sometimes you just drop on stuff. I really was a big fan of back in the day. A program called Chuck, and it's about a guy who's a spy, but he's a nerd. And like I thought it was amazing. 'Cause it's like a nerd. He has a supercomputer in his brain, and it's just hilarious. If you've never watched it, go watch it. I'm obsessed with it. I love the actor. I want to go and get a tattoo with the actor. The actor's amazing. He's the guy who plays Shazam as well. I'm a massive fan of him. I'm trying to his fucking name. I'm gonna fuck his last name up. Something like Zatlevsky, something like that. Really good, a really good actor. But Scorpion, I've been watching is a lot like Chuck. Didn't know it was a thing. So yeah, I started watching that. It's quite an old pro. It's not an old program. It's about 4 or 5 years old. But I didn't even know it was a thing. I watched about 2 seasons so far. But I'm on the second season at the minute. I've really enjoyed it. It's quite fun. It's about a real life person who's got an IQ of 197. I want to try and remember 197 IQ, and it's about him using his brain to get out of scenarios or situations. Um, so yeah, I've been watching that. It's been quite funny because like you see I'm one of those hopeless romantics that I've turned into as old age, turned into a hopeless romantic. So watching it, like you can tell he's like really doesn't do communicating with people or in a couple. And it's quite funny when you watch it because like you can see like the love attractions happening, but in his head, it's like in his head, it doesn't work because like love is not can't be worked out by mathematics or problem solving. So like he's like it does not compute. It's like they're talking to a fucking robot. Does not compute. I think it's so amazing, so fun. And it reminds me a lot of like Chuck because Chuck's a lot. I wish she's like, why would you go out with me? I'm just a nerd. She's like super hot spy. You're like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, it sort of tickled my fancy and I've been sat watching that. What else I've been watching? Let's think. I've just watched that Chaos Theory, it's called, or whatever it is. I've just watched that literally before I started recording the podcast. Uh, I was, See, I've heard a lot of bad shit about it, but I thought it was alright. But I'm one of those. I'm the films people usually fucking hate. I usually like. Like Green Lantern, everybody hated it. Fucking loved it. Uh, Green Hornet, everybody hated it, loved it. I love shit films for some reason. I don't know if that's a problem, but yeah. What else I've been watching? Can't think. Things been watching. Uh, I don't think of anything. I know I've been recording a bit for my YouTube channel. I can talk a bit about that. I've been recording, going for the Diamond Sasha Banks on WWE 2K22. Basically playing through every man. That took me about, I think it was like 14 hours to complete the whole thing. Because you don't realise like how hard some of them challenges are. Especially there was one that I think it took me about 5 attempts to complete. It was a Royal Rumble over the top rope. And the amount of times like I'd get thrown from one side of the ring and just fucking bounce over the top of the rope and land on the floor and my for fuck. And I was outside the ring, so I was like, piss off. And yeah, that sort of stressed me out. But getting the diamond card worked and was helpful. What else have been playing a bit of FIFA because FIFA, if you didn't know, FIFA 22 went free to play on PlayStation. So if you've not got it, you can download it. Uh, I've been playing that. I've made my own team with Emil Heskey up front. I'm going to make a video about that. Emil Heskey. I'm going to try and do a remix of it. KSI's video he dropped. You know, the Emil Heskey stuff. Not Emil Heskey, sorry. Aubameyang. No, I'll think of the name. I've been playing that, so that's been quite funny. What else have I been doing? I don't know. It's been a weird week. Oh, I went to see my nan this weekend. She wasn't there, surprisingly. I went to catch up with her, wasn't there. I don't think I've got much more. I watched Aragon the other day. See, I love Aragon. I feel like they should do. It's one of the movies I mentioned that I feel like now would be the perfect time to do like a good version of it, an up to date version of it, and try and see how it does, and then do a second and third, because there's meant to be three in that film. Classes, and I always feel like I hate movies and films and TV shows that end before they get to the end. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind them leaving it open ended that potentially there could be more down the line, but I feel like there should be like a general like, if we're doing no more, this is what we've done, and this is like the 3 or 4 years paid off. Sometimes they don't know that. I feel like TV executives and TV producers should and movie producers should say, listen, we're not doing it, like, give them prior notice that they're not going to. Obviously, movies are a bit more like, because obviously they film in advance and obviously they get released and they don't know how they're going to do till it's released. But TV shows, they could tell if they're doing well or doing shit on the ratings. I get that, like, they're filmed in advance, but I feel like they could pay for one episode just to finish it off. I tired of. Like, there was a program I watched last year called, there's two programs actually. Comfort, Music Comfort something, or something Comfort. It's about a musician who ends up bringing up kids and nanny, and Netflix scrapped that. And then Disney scrapped something. They did a Turner and Hooch, basically a spin-off with the guy from Drake and Josh. They've scrapped that. At least one of my programs I watched last year called Big Shot that I thought was amazing. Has got a second season, thankfully, because I hate when seasons get dropped. It's like there's a movie, a program I watched years ago on Sky, and like on occasions I go back and watch it. Terra Nova. And when I was telling my mate, as when I was telling Ryan about it from the podcast, he went, "What the Dev, you watch some shit." And I was like, no, I really like it. I like dinosaurs, so like putting a dinosaur element in any kind of program, I'll sit and watch it and love it. And it was one of those programs where I was like, you know what, this isn't too bad, this. So I sat and watched that, and I really got into it. And then I found out like halfway through that basically they fucked it up the page, and I was like, oh, piss off. There was also, and me and my mum were discussing this the other day, that obviously she watched that, what's it called? Vampire Diaries. And then they did the spin off called Originals, and then they've done another spin off from Originals called Legacy or Legends or some shit like that. And she said, like, fucking, when she's been watching it, that she now can't watch the new series because it's not aired in the UK, it's only aired in America. And it's on like season 5 or something like that. So I was like, I don't get why they wouldn't do it. And I was like, I don't know, but they did the same with me, which I watched a program called, obviously I was talking about Chuck. I watched 4 seasons of Chuck, and then I found out they was going to air the 5th season in America, but it wasn't coming to the UK. And I was like, he's taking the fucking piss. I watched 4 years of this shit. Like, the better be an airing, and then I ended up buying the DVD version of it just to sit and watch the last season because I just couldn't watch it any other way. So I ended up buying this DVD version and watching it. And that's just piss poor, like really bad planning. I don't know if it was just being wankers or just nobody wants to pick it the last season up of it or what. But I hope when they do a Chuck movie, I hope it's like Netflix or someone, and I hope like Netflix picks it up and that they release it at the same time everywhere, because I feel like there's a lot of, considering Chuck finished about, I want to say like 22, 23, so maybe even a bit, yeah, no, I want to say like 22. Considering that was like 10 years ago, I feel like if they do the movie, that there needs to be um, like a worldwide distribution, because a lot of people have watched it after the series. And if you've not watched Chuck, go and watch it. It's a legendary. Type in Chuck TV series, and it's about a nerd who gets a supercomputer in his brain. It's 5 seasons of it. I think it's about 20 episodes per season, something like that. Really good. If you like nerdy kind of stuff, it's really good. Hopefully we'll talk about Stranger Things when that comes out this year. And what's the one that's got? Cobra Kai season 5 has been announced. So that's good for September. So we could talk about that in September, because believe me, I'll sit and watch the whole season, like probably 2 nights or 2 days. Or maybe even a day, to be honest. Depends how many there is. If there is 10, I'll probably watch it in a day. I think that's it, guys and girls. I don't think I tried to set it for half an hour. I've talked about some random crap in between. And obviously, I think they talked about 10 minutes of Johnny Depp and the trial of Amber Heard. Obviously, when the conclusion comes out, we'll talk about the conclusion of it. I think it's a couple of weeks away from the conclusion. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you want us to talk about. You can email us you can email me on the Go On Then podcast. You can message Ryan on Iconic Shadows on Twitter. We're obviously called the Go On Then podcast on Twitter. And you can also message me on, I think it's either wrestling_GSA or GSA_wrestling. It's one of the two. If you message me, if you've got any questions or anything you want to talk about, message us, hit us up. We have got obviously episodes aired, but it's always nice to have bonus questions or questions from you guys that you want us to listen to or talk about. Yep, thank you very much for listening for my ranting for half an hour. Hopefully next episode we will have Ryan back or someone on, hopefully. The thing is, Sean's been busy, Sweat's been busy, and obviously Ryan's been busy, so it's been me basically the last 2 weeks. So keep the episodes going for you guys, and sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. This one was a bit of a all-around trying to do everything, but yeah, to be honest, I might get Ryan, I might give him a punishment a bit, right? About 2 separately on his own, and try and fill half an hour. That could be interesting, right? You've got to do 2 half-an-hour episodes. Yep, thank you very much for listening. I've been your host, David GSA Wrestling, and we'll see you all in a bit.
Did you enjoy our little chat? If so, why not drop a like? And if you want to see more, why not hit the subscribe button?